Here I'm going to go through the Trigons, Shards, and Replicas that I have in the Mirrodin and Scars of Mirrodin cube. Right here you'll see that I have a Trigon that is blue flavored and a Shard that is green flavored. That means that I'm missing the blue flavored Shard and the green flavored Trigon. I think I took out the Trigon into an infect little mini cube that I'm building as well. And so you'll see here, Trigon of Thought has the ability to draw a card. And in the case of Hardwood Shard, it's Trample. Then when I add the counterparts for each set, in the case of black, I do have the Trigon of Corruption, which is really equivalent to the Skeleton Shard. They're both black flavored. They're both at uncommon. In the case of the Trigon, it's a little heavier. It's got a 4 CMC converted mana cost. And in the case of the Shard, it's got a 3. In the case of the Trigon, you can put a -1/-1 counter. In the case of the Shard, you can return a creature card from your graveyard. Now let's look at the red ones. The white one. Oh, I guess I must be missing. Okay. Well, in that case, I guess I'm missing the white Shard and the red Trigon. So here we have Trigon Unmending, and it's got white flavor, and it gains life. In the case of the Granite Shard, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. One thing that I didn't mention with other artifacts that I'm looking at in these videos is it's an ore of the 3 cost. So even though it may seem heavy, let me see if I can get this to focus for a second. There we go. So even though it may seem heavy, it's heavy if you're paying 3 colorless. But if you have a mountain, then you only need to pay 1. So there go 3 Shards and 3 Trigons. When it comes to the replicas, I do have a full set of both Mirrodin and Scars of Mirrodin for a total of 10 cards. So there are 16 cards in this group. So let's go through the Scars replica, Oriok, and the Mirrodin replica, Soldier. And you'll see that they're at the same converted mana cost. They're both common. In the case of the Mirrodin one, it's a little bit more near the wall type of creature at 1/3. But when you sacrifice it, you actually can deal damage. It's almost like a red ability. In the case of Oriok, you prevent damage instead of giving it. A little bit of a twist as you go from one set to the other. In the case of the blue replicas, Nurok in Scars and Wizard in Mirrodin, again, they're both common. And in the case of Nurok, when you sacrifice it, you use it very much the way you use Vapor Snag and other instants that can return a creature to its owner's hand. Can be very disruptive if it's a heavy creature and your opponent doesn't have a lot of mana. In the case of the Wizard replica, it's a counterspell with a cost of 2, very similar to Mana Leak. I think Mana Leak is a 3 cost, but this is similar to it. Then you've got, in the case of the black cards, you have Nim replica in Mirrodin and Moriok in Scars, and I'm going to reverse them so that my lighting helps the lighter Mirrodin design. Moriok is a warrior, Nim is a zombie. So Nim is very aggressive. It's really an aggro card at 3/1. When you sacrifice it, it gives -1, -1, consistent with a black ability. In the case of Moriok, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. I forget which card usually has that as a 1-drop in black. I'm sure I'll get to it because I think I have it in this cube. Then when we get to the red cards, we can destroy an artifact with the Mirrodin card, Goblin, at a heavy cost. 3 total of 4 on top of playing the actual creature. Volshok is a little lighter, and it can deal 3 damage. Both useful cards in casual. Then when we get down to green, Sylvok can destroy artifact or enchantment in Scars, and that's good because you can have an opponent that has either an artifact or an enchantment, hopefully one or the other. But if you're outside of these artifact heavy blocks, especially when you go into Modern where you could be playing a wide variety of decks, your opponent may not have either a target artifact or enchantment. In the case of the Mirrodin card, it strictly allows you to destroy a target enchantment. So here we are. We went through the replicas, the Trigons, and the Shards. Don't have all the Trigons, don't have all the Shards, but luckily I have all the replicas. So I'll rewind back and show the cards as I was laying them down. Once again, there you have the red replicas. Then you have the black replicas, the blue ones, white ones, and I'll leave it there.